They will destroy you and they will destroy the court. That was a message delivered to the ICC prosecutor Karim Khan over drinks at a hotel in The Hague back in May. The person he was having drinks with was a colleague, a friend, a British-Israeli ICC lawyer by the name of Nicholas Kaufman. In essence, Kaufman was warning Khan that if he didn't drop the arrest warrants against Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and then Defense Minister Yoav Gallant, that it would cost Karim Khan, and it would lead to the destruction of the International Criminal Court itself. Then just weeks later, Khan was forced to take a leave of absence from his position over explosive accusations of sexual misconduct leaked to the media. To tell us more about this exclusive report by Middle East Eye, I sat down earlier with a lead reporter on that story, Imran Mullah. Imran, thank you so much for being here. This is an explosive story, and at its heart is this British-Israeli ICC lawyer by the name of Nicholas Kaufman. What can you tell us about him?
Nicholas Kaufman is a prominent ICC defense lawyer. His current work involves representing Duterte, the former Philippines president, who's currently in ICC custody. So Kaufman texted Karim Khan, who he's known for years, on 26th of April this year. He offered to meet with him to give him an insight into the Israeli mentality. Kaufman also said he had been contacted by a Wall Street Journal reporter on the ICC Palestine investigation. Kaufman said that the reporter had said he had heard Kaufman was informally or indirectly advising the former Israeli Defense Minister Yoav Gallant, and Kaufman didn't make any further comment on this. So then a week later, on Tuesday, Kaufman texted Khan and said he had met that afternoon with Roy Schondorf, who's Netanyahu's legal advisor. Kaufman and Khan agreed to meet that Thursday, and they did at the Desand Hotel at 6:30 p.m. on Thursday, the 1st of May.
Now, in May of this year is when this conversation takes place between these two individuals. Why is the timing of this significant?
Well, it came as Khan was facing this sexual abuse investigation, an external UN investigation into claims of sexual misconduct against him, and he's denied all allegations. And this meeting came just less than 2 weeks before the Wall Street Journal publicized reports of sexual assault, which had never been published before. So previously it was sexual harassment. Now it became sexual assault in the public domain. Now there's no suggestion of any connection between Kaufman's meeting with Khan and the Wall Street Journal, and we should say this. But this was the situation that Khan found himself in. He had this investigation against him. So Kaufman and Khan, they sat down at the Desand Hotel, and we know about this from a note of the meeting which has been lodged with the ICC that we've seen. So according to this note, Kaufman said that he'd spoken to Roy Schondorf and that he had a suggestion which he was authorized to make. So he suggested that Khan could apply to reclassify the arrest warrants for Netanyahu and Gallant as confidential. Now this would allow Israel to access the details of the allegations into Netanyahu and Gallant and to challenge them without the outcome being made public, which it would be a very significant move. Now, Khan made no reply to this, but Kaufman added that if it emerged that reports were true that Khan was preparing more arrest warrants for other members of the Israeli government, then that offer would be off the table. Although Kaufman denies that an offer was made, he says there was just a suggestion. So that suggestion and all other options would be off the table if Khan was applying for more arrest warrants. And Kaufman warned that they will destroy you and they will destroy the court. And Khan and his wife, according to this note, both interpreted that as a threat.
Now, we actually have heard from Nicholas Kaufman directly. What did he say to the reports that are mentioned in the story?
So Kaufman disputes much of what is in the note of the meeting, which we cite. In a statement sent to us, he denied advising Yoav Gallant. He He said, "I have no power of attorney from Mr. Gallant, and the court does not recognize me as being involved in the Palestine situation in any way." Kaufman accepts that he met with Roy Schondorf, a legal advisor to Netanyahu. He said, "I do not deny that I told Mr. Khan that he should be looking for a way to extricate himself from his errors. I'm not authorized to make any proposals on behalf of the Israeli government, nor did I." He also said his suggestion to Khan was not an offer. Kaufman told us, "I said that if Mr. Khan were to seek further arrest warrants while the Israeli admissibility challenge was underway, it would encourage further US sanctions and risk destroying the court." He said there was absolutely no threat made. And there's more detail on what's in the document and what Kaufman has said to us in our story on the Middle East Eye website.
Right. So we're going to talk a little bit about the U.S. sanctions. But first, you mentioned the fact that there are these allegations against Karim Khan, the ICC prosecutor, and the timing of when this meeting takes place and when the latest round of accusations leaks to the media is significant. Why is that significant, and what do we need to understand? What do we need to have in our heads when we're reading the story?
Well, I think what's significant is how embattled Karim Khan was at the time that he was having this meeting. He had this external UN investigation into him personally. Now, it's important to note that there is no suggestion of any connection between the meeting and the Wall Street Journal piece 2 weeks later, or less than 2 weeks later. But that piece publicized sexual assault allegations against Khan, which had not previously been publicized. Khan shortly afterwards went on leave from his role after a failed attempt to suspend him, and he is currently indefinitely on leave pending the outcome of this UN investigation. Now, there has been a suggestion and claims widely made in the US and the British media that Khan's arrest warrants, his decision to seek arrest warrants for Netanyahu and Gallant, was made in connection to the sexual abuse allegations against him. So the Wall Street Journal suggested that his case against Netanyahu was, quote, tainted. Now, the timeline of events which we've previously reported shows that that's not the case. Actually, Karim Khan decided to apply for these arrest warrants in March 2024, mid-March, and that was about 6 weeks before allegations against him emerged. They emerged in late April, and then in early May, there was an internal ICC investigation opened into the allegations. It was closed just days afterwards, after the woman involved said she didn't want to cooperate. So by the time that Karim Khan announced that he was applying for these warrants on the 20th of May, an investigation had been opened and closed. So there was no investigation into him at that time. And 2 internal investigations have been opened and closed, and now there is an external UN investigation which is ongoing. So that's where we are now, and it's important to stress that Khan strenuously denies all allegations against him.
The allegations in the story attempt to paint a picture that shows the ICC prosecutor, one of the most high-profile lawyers in the world, who has been for the last year attempting to hold both Israeli and Hamas leaders to account over what has been happening in Gaza. And this isn't the first story that you have reported on when it comes to that suggests that there are forces outside of the court that are trying to pressure the ICC judge into dropping those allegations or not doing them in the first place. And just a month ago, we were speaking right here about David Cameron, the former British Prime Minister, and his interaction with Karim Khan and a phone call that had happened between them shortly before those first calls for arrest warrants had been issued. What happened in that phone call? What did David Cameron threaten Karim Khan with?
Yes, so Karim Khan has faced these threats and pressure, and particularly in the run-up to his decision to seek the arrest warrants, or his announcement of the decision. So in April 2024, on the 23rd of April, David Cameron, who was the British Foreign Secretary at the time, phoned Karim Khan. We revealed this phone call and details of the phone call last month, citing numerous sources. And Cameron threatened Karim Khan, who is actually a British citizen. He's a British prosecutor. Cameron threatened that the UK would defund and withdraw from the ICC if the ICC went ahead with the arrest warrants for Netanyahu and Gilan. And Cameron actually said it would be like dropping a hydrogen bomb. So we reported that. Cameron didn't respond to our request for comment. The British Foreign Office declined to comment. And former Scottish First Minister Hamza Yusuf called for a parliamentary investigation into Cameron, who of course still sits as a peer in the House of Lords.
Now put all of this into context for us, because while all of this is happening, you have the Trump administration in the US issuing multiple very public threats against the ICC and against Karim Khan, threats that they ended up following through with by sanctioning Khan, but also sanctioning 4 ICC judges. Tell us what has been happening.
Yeah, so it's an unprecedented situation. The ICC is facing so many threats, open threats from the US. Recently, there was a US threat at the ICC's governing body meeting that all options are on the table if the arrest warrants aren't dropped. So Karim Khan had sanctions placed on him by the Trump administration in February. That means that his US visa's revoked. He can't travel to the country. His wife can't. His bank account in the UK actually he can't use that. So it's quite serious for him personally. And in June, just last month, 4 judges who were obviously involved in issuing the ICC warrants for Netanyahu and Gilan were also slapped with sanctions. You've had sanctions on Francesca Albanese, who was accused of having been in contact with the ICC. So many experts now believe that the US could even sanction the ICC as an institution if the arrest warrants aren't dropped. Now, if that happened, that would cripple the ICC's ability to function. So it's an unprecedented situation, and it could also be an existential challenge for the court.
Incredible story, incredible developments. Thank you so much, Imran Mullah, for joining us.
Thank you very much.
That was MEE political reporter Imran Mullah. And you can read the full exclusive story on Karim Khan, Nicholas Kaufman, and the ICC by heading over to our website at middleeasteye.net. Stay with us as we turn to something a little different now. The new Superman film. Is it pro-Palestinian, or are people just projecting? Stick around.